your success early on, being a youth prodigy, you know what I'm saying? Have you had a moment, or what was that moment like when you started getting recognized?
When I realized grown women were tattooing my name on their back.
What?
Yeah. That was at the New Edition story. And I didn't really, like I told you earlier, I didn't know the magnitude of the show and the influence it had on women at the time.
Hold on. So they got your name or the person you was
Man, they had the Hoagland Honeys. Dante Hoagland played Michael Bivins. They had the Truitt the Winston Babes. That's Jahi Winston. He played Ralph Tresvant. They had the Truitt. Yeah, they just had like different names for us. And there was one time that we went to LA for I think it was Belle Biv DeVoe's Hollywood Walk. They were getting the star, or I think it was New Edition. And we were all meeting up in this little lounge space area with New Edition, a whole bunch of fans, and there was like these two 40-year-olds that walked up to me and my boy Tyler that played Bobby Brown at the time, and she turned around and she had like this like crop top. Like, I don't know if it's like not a crop top, but like a tube top. A tube top, 40-year-old with a tube top. And she turned around and had all 5 of our names listed on her right shoulder. My dad, Uncle Gene. Kid you not. I kid you not, you know? But that's one part, you know, that really hit me. But then also after the show came out, I saw it 24.7 million views in 3 nights. And then just seeing myself on TV, coming from stage. You know, when I was doing stage, I didn't really know what I was going to do because I was doing singing, dancing, and acting at the time.
Right.
You know, so now just suppressing that just to acting and being in front of a camera, I was just going through the motions, just having fun as a kid.
So you was in theater?
Oh, yeah.
So do you see, like, where you are now, 21 years old, all right, do you feel a life going back to theater?
Yeah, especially with this strike, for sure.
Yeah.
I love theater. I've always had a heartfelt, you know, passion for it. Just being comfortable in front of large audiences and being able to just represent myself in a higher stature to what I normally do on a regular daily basis. It's fun, man. It's fun. You only get one chance on that stage.
Yeah.
And it's just the adrenaline rush, you know, the fact that you can just play off your, you know what I'm saying, your castmates and have improvised scenes or what have you.
Yeah.
It's fun, you know, acting, you always have that cut. All right, we're going here, we're going there. And it's just the way theater is structured. It's good to see. And then you see certain actors coming from theater, Viola Davis and Denzel Washington, you know, they are who they are because of what they did.
Right, for sure.
You know, so.
So you touched on it briefly, and I kind of want to take this time to ask how it has impacted you with this Writers Guild strike, the strike as a whole, right? What's your thoughts about it? You know, being able to not know the next steps or the future or whatever, how has it impacted you?
Kind of feels like COVID. Feels like that COVID time to where everybody's just stagnant and in one place and trying to find out what's their niche and what's that next. I feel like if I was 30, 31, I would have been a director already, a creative director, a writer, this, that, and the third. But I'm just touching the surface, you know? And it's just like now me being a young adult and not just a young child actor and now going through this too. Last time we went to strike was 60 years ago.
Yeah.
And it was for residuals, you know what I'm saying, and higher compensation of pay. And now we're going on strike now, present day, and it's for higher residual rates and not to have robots take over our jobs. You know, so that's why I go back to theater. You can't, with theater, you can't use AI.
Yeah.
You know, it's a certain aesthetic and realness to theater that you can grab attention from an audience and have them in that sunken place.
Right.
But with AI, it's like Avatar, prime example, right? No shade to white, no shade to no ethnicities, but when you look at Avatar, it was portraying indigenous people. So you only had one black character playing an indigenous person, but the whole environment of that movie was based off of Hawaii, Honolulu.
Right.
And you have all these, you know what I'm saying, white characters, and it's not paying homage to what is, you know what I'm saying?
True
but
essence.
but the AI flares up their nostrils, makes their ears more big, makes the, you know what I'm saying? Now they're speaking in the certain language of the, you know what I'm saying, the people that are from there.
Right.
It's just like, it's just taken away from just the realness,
Right.
you know, of certain movies that can.
The purity
Yeah.
of the art of acting.
That's the main thing, man.
So if I were to ask you a question, simple and plain, if Myles had to have a stance or something that everybody had to abide by coming out of this strike, what would it be?
Stay true to yourself, because this industry can change you, especially like the film industry. You can be easily, you know, convinced and have your mental altered by just anything or what a director says or what does look good. And when you stay true to what your realness is, your purity, like you were just saying, of what characters you feel like can be pulled out of you and what's relatable to you, you know, that's the main thing. Because I don't want to go deep, but I just see certain actors and it's like, oh, I could have seen him play this.
Yeah.
Or maybe that wasn't for them. You know?
But to my point, and I hear you.
Maybe I didn't understand the
But
understand it
coming from the strike,
fully.
right? If
Yeah.
somebody or like a representative from the strike came to you and said, all right, what would you want to see come from this, that you have a stance to say, I want the actors or the writers to get paid more, like, or I want this to always be a law coming out of it.
Okay. Transportation, I feel like that should be back. We
Meaning
don't,
what?
As far as to set and from set. After COVID, we had to get ourselves 12 to 14 hour days, and we had to drive to set, and then we had to drive home.
What?
Oh yeah. For the past 2-3 years, they've been doing it, and they were trying to get away with that too, because COVID's done now, but they still have actors driving.
And you're paying for that on your own dime.
Yeah, unless they give you a rental car, but then sometimes maybe that's in their budget, or if you have to ask.
And it's coming off of your bottom line.
You go through the agent.
Yeah.
It's certain ways that, you know, that's handled. The residuals, like I said earlier, there are major networks. I can name just 10 on my hand that are making billions of dollars a year, and not only just to the actors, but the people that create the shows that are writers. They're not even getting a 10% of that.
Right, the compensation that they supposed
You know, residually, you know, you have these shows just running, then what checks are coming back in that are only $1.60?
Right.
And then imagine what the actors are making. You know, I feel like those are the big things. And then AI too, just having more control of our realness and our own entities, rather than just taking our livelihood for granted and using it to wherever you want. You know, to whatever caliber you can. And me being young too, I'm still reading up on everything, still learning. Like, I didn't even know, because it started in May. I think a little bit before May.
Right.
And I didn't know how much, like, how important it was until probably like 2 months ago.
Say less.